Al Leiter, MLB Network analyst, Yes Network analyst, back here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Al?
Hello. How you doing, Rich?
I'm doing great. When the Mets sort of blew the Carlos Gomez trade, because that's what everybody said would happen, and Wilmer Flores is taken off the field or he's put back on the field crying, and then they blew a game the next day in the ninth inning and had a 2.5-hour rain delay before actually losing that game. I thought, here comes that trapdoor again for the Mets. And instead, Cespedes has been a godsend, and this team is streaking towards the playoffs right now. Al, it's unbelievable what's happening with the Mets.
It really is. And you know what? I hate to put it on one guy where I know it's a team sport. I get it. There's so many facets to baseball and how you win, and there's sometimes no rhyme or reason as to whether the outcome is favorable or not. But I have to say this, Rich. When you look at the numbers, and I've looked at it the last couple of days because of was there really an impact of this magnitude for one player to change a team? And I have to say yes. We know if you watch baseball, the Mets arguably the best rotation in baseball, I think 1 through 5. That's not an argument. And what it does, what a guy like Cespedes has done to this lineup is to make guys relax. And I think if you were part of that Mets lineup prior to Cespedes showing up, there's a level of pressure of knowing that you have to answer to, why aren't you scoring? Where are you in average and runs? And the numbers are remarkable, really, Rich. I mean, before Cespedes showed up, the Mets on average were 30th in baseball, 29th on base, 29th in slug. Runs, they were last. I mean, it's right across the board. Then you say, okay, well, can this one guy really change it? Well, he kind of has. The average went to third since Cespedes in the, 35 games now, 36 games. Went to third. On base, runs are first since he's been around. So what does that do? It lengthens a lineup, and we talk about it often. If you watch games and you listen to a baseball game or you know anything about it, that the passing of the baton. And I look at some of the guys that are in this lineup now, and being a little more relaxed. Yes, there's David Wright is back, and a healthy Duda is back, and d'Arnaud is back. But Daniel Murphy has stepped up his game, batting over 290 since Cespedes showed up. Wilmer Flores, if you remember, you mentioned about the Gomez trade, when he was shedding a tear because he didn't want to leave New York. He's batting .311 with 5 home runs since. So you kind of get where I'm going. And I always thought about this, and I wanted to use that reference, Rich, was facing teams that were good and collectively great. And I thought about the Yankees, all those years that they were winning, patient lineups through the 90s. Yes, they had Jeter and Posada and O'Neill and Tino and all those guys and Bernie, but each guy made it that much more difficult because I believed that those players felt like if I didn't get it done, the next guy's going to get it done. And this is a game of mental toughness, of being calm, of allowing the game to slow down, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And yes, Yoenis Cespedes has been that guy for the Mets, and it's really been fun to watch.
3-time World Series champion Al Leiter joining me here on the program. Where do you stand on Matt Harvey? His agent comes out and says, yeah, this pitching limit is, this innings limit is serious. Matt Harvey is peppered by the New York press, and he refuses to say what he then went and blogged on the internet that he would do, which is pitch in the playoffs. And then he had a horrible start when he needed the one that was best for the Mets. Where do you stand on Matt Harvey?
I like Matt Harvey. I know him. I think he's a good kid. I think he wants to be great. I think he respects the game. I know he respects players that have played before him. I'm disappointed, of all places, New York, with plenty of microphones stuffed in your face after a game. They'll find information, whether it's not always 100% accurate. It's going to get out there. That's the nature of the beast of playing in New York. I don't like the fact that an agent will determine or dictate policy for clubs. The Mets have been careful. If you look at his starts, I don't think there was one start that he pitched over 115 pitches. Many of them were under 110, and most of them right at 100. They're careful of their investment. I would say this, Rich. Man, I mean, I'm not talking about abuse. I was a guy that when I was a young player at 23 years old, I remember a cold night at Yankee Stadium. Dallas Green was my manager, and I threw 163 pitches. There's a difference between babying and abuse. The Mets know what's going on. Dan Warrington is a good pitching coach. You think Sandy Alderson and the ownership wants to hurt or ruin a guy's career that is a special arm? So I think it's just really dumb. There's moments when you got to bite your tongue. You got to be careful what you say. And if there's ever something that I could say in my 17-plus years of service time that really resonates with fans and people that watched me and liked me occasionally, was what I did in the postseason. It was a dream come true. I got a chance to pitch in 3 World Series. I pitched in the pinnacle of every guy who played in the backyard wiffle ball, a Game 7 start when I was with the Marlins against the Indians. I can reminisce and I can clearly visualize my moments in postseason. So you never know. You never know. Look at Don Mattingly. I got a chance to play with Donnie baseball. Didn't get to the playoffs till his last year in the big leagues. You look across to other great players across the board. I'm friendly with Dan Marino, and he gets to the Super Bowl like his first year in the NFL and never goes again. And cherish it. And know that they're going to protect you. You don't have to go public on that, especially of all places. Mets fans, I mean, you talk about being frustrated and disgruntled. Come on, man, you got to watch it.
Well, I know they want him to be their Tom Seaver. They want him to basically say, give me the ball. I know what my agent said, and I know what my doctor's saying, but I want the ball, and give me the ball. And instead, with all the microphones, he was basically saying, I'm just only looking forward to my next start. And I just wanted to just put an earpiece in his ear and say, look, I'm a native New Yorker here, Matt. Just say you want to win. That's it. You want to win, and you're going to be there. If the Mets make the playoffs, you're going to be there, right? Yeah. I mean, but he couldn't say that. Why do you think he couldn't say that, Al? When it comes down to it,
I think that there was probably considerable conversation between Matt and his agent. I assume probably came up with a game plan. This has been a conversation that has been discussed, I'm sure, at length with Sandy Alderson, the pitching coach, the manager, probably since spring training. They're aware of the fact that here's a special arm that was out all last year. If you remember, Matt wanted to come back last September.
Right.
They said, "Whoa, horsey, not necessary. We're out of it. We'll see you in Port St. Lucie in February." So, listen, I think there's moments where you realize, oops, I made a mistake. I would like to think that Matt feels that way. He's a good guy. He is a gamer-type player, pitcher. I love his stuff. I was trying to see some drop-off. He's got it. He was touching 98 the other day. Just let it play out. And say, as you just said, say the right things, man. That's what the fans want to hear.
Right.
They don't have to know exactly what the plan is. And why let the other team? Why let the Dodgers know? He might be on a pitch count. He's only going to throw so many innings. There is a difference between 100 pitches and 100 pitches. I pitched in Colorado, Rich, and man, you get through 5 innings, and it feels like 3 starts. There's other games where you go 100 pitches and 7+ innings, and man, you say, oh my God, I feel great. So innings, yes, are important. Pitch counts are important, but do it with your eyeballs. See what it looks like. Is he laboring? Did he have a couple bad innings where he walked a few guys and had some stressful outs that he couldn't get through it? So there's a lot of variables in it, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And the reason why I'm with Al Leiter right here on the show, a couple minutes left, you mentioned the Dodgers because it sure looks like that's who the Mets are going to play and vice versa in the first round of the playoffs. Not much mystery left in the National League. In fact, the only mystery that's left in baseball right now is who's going to win the East and then who is going to win the West and what that might mean for a wild card in the American League. Yeah. Tonight, the Yankees and Blue Jays start a big, huge 4-game set. What do you think happens when it's all said and done between these two teams that have 7 left to play the rest of the way here, Al?
Well, I'll tell you what. You nailed it. And I think part of, in my heart a little bit, and I know, did you grow up a Mets fan?
No. The pinstripes, sir.
All right, so pinstripes. So, listen, the Nats, the Mets coming in, playing them, if just to make it interesting, just for the fun of it, now I'm on this side, I'm not in uniform, to keep it competitive and have a few more races, I'm with you. It looks like it's all pretty much wrapped up other than some wild card issue, maybe a first seed if that's going to matter for a team like Kansas City to play through. Listen, I think what Toronto did, by recognizing that they needed a true ace, a stud. David Price has been exactly that. 5-1 with an ERA slightly over 2, absolute domination. Left-handed, I think that has just changed the aura. I know what Donaldson and Russell Martin has meant in that clubhouse. They can hit was it a matter of whether they would have a front-end starter, and they got it. This is going to come down. I got to believe it. They got 7 more games, Rich. This is going to come down. And if you look at the last 4 games or the last few games, the Yankees play the Red Sox. The Red Sox could be major spoiler in this with 4 games before they end up going to, I think it's Baltimore. And the same thing that goes for Toronto. Things may have to go through Boston. These 7 games so matter, and quite frankly, I love it. I hope it comes down to the last day.
Yeah, and it's no shock that Price starts tonight for the Blue Jays. And Severino, this young kid, has been a godsend for the Yankees.
Yeah, don't sleep on Severino. This guy, and I know why that the front office and Brian Cashman didn't want to trade him.
Sure.
Every club wanted him included in a deal. He's going to be. Now, again, the caveat X factor of staying healthy, that's a given, right? This guy will be a front-end starter in the big leagues. He is fantastic. Love it. He's a 3-pitch pitcher. Touches in the upper 90s, 2 secondary pitches, great changeup. I love Severino.
Before I let you go, you got a football take? You want to give me a Super Bowl pick, Al, before you go?
Super Bowl pick. I'm not going against Green Bay.
Really? You like the Packers?
Is Rodgers going to be in there the whole time? How about the Jets this weekend? What are you feeling on the Jets?
Oh, God. Who knows, man? Who knows if somebody's going to hit?
Who knows? I got to circle it.
I know. But the Jets your team, Al? No.
I grew up a Giants fan. I'm disappointed.
Okay. But
I think they're going to get crushed down in Dallas.
Okay. Yeah, well, you know what? You never know. Eli plays big in those big games, and they usually do very well in the Jones Mahal down there in Dallas. So I wouldn't sleep on that one. For the Jets, I have no idea. I mean, no earthly idea. That one, I have no clue what they're going to look like.
All right, I'm going to circle Jets. Good. That was a good pick. All right, man.
Take care, Al.
Take care.
You bet. That's Al Leiter, MLB Network.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.